Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another exciting episode of Frail Conversations. And today, as you've seen from the title, we're gonna be talking about entitlement and obedience, right? Um, First off, I know this is late. It's supposed to be dropping on Saturday. It's Monday. Look, sue me. I got a lot of shit going on. And it's not really a lot of shit going on as far as like bad shit. It's just like I'm transitioning into something, and it's the energy and the space that it's taken is like it's a lot, and it's like it's almost like a breakthrough type shit, like a real like heavy shit, and so I'm adjusting to that, changing into the new stuff, going into the season, going into all of these new things that are evolving for me on a whole different level that um I can honestly say I never really truly prepared for it like this fast, but the fact that I'm able to still move means that I was already prepared for it. But that's beside the fact. That's beside the fact. Right. I just want to let y'all know that's why I was late. I'm gonna try to be more consistent. And to the Iwi, I know. It's been a whole month at this point. But ain't no new people come in, so I ain't tripping. Uh, the people that are joining the master market, I don't, I honestly haven't even been paying attention to them. To be honest with you, like they're not emailing me saying they need help with anything, so I just let them be because my focus is iwi, and it has always been iwi that I transitioned over. So nobody from that has come over or whatnot. So I'm chilling for real, and then just the whole everything. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see a lot of the transitions that are coming in. You feel me? Coming out of shadow ban, just the way the things have officially shifted and turned. It's different, and I'm adjusting to it. I'm human, right? Which ultimately helped in a way prompt this episode. You feel me? Entitlement and obedience, right? Um, the reason why I want to talk about this episode is because I was having like in the midst of it, a motherfucker was telling me like, in the midst of like what's transpiring right now, a motherfucker was like, you know, you need to hurry up with what you're doing. I know they were joking. I know they were joking. I know you were joking, but uh, it still kind of it rubbed me a little bit because I'm like, you entitled motherfucker. This is what I had in my head, but it was the entitlement connected to obedience in a way because when you're obedient to something. Now, this is not to say this motherfucker was obedient to me and listened to my every whim and everything like that, but when we look at obedience as it relates to, first let me finish the thought. So the obedience that you have makes you develop a level of entitlement, right? When we look at obedience for real, obedience is is input and output basically. When you do something good, you feel me? You're supposed to receive something good, right? When you do something, you're supposed to get something, right? So when you consistently listening to my podcast, when you're consistently showing up on these days, and you notice that I start getting off, that entitlement kicks in. Now, the entitlement was warranted. Like if I'm going to be delivering a service, I have to stay consistent with the service. So I'm not even mad at that. I'm not tripping on that part. But like I said, it expanded me up to a bigger picture. So it's like, every Wednesday and every like obedience is often attributed in a way to consistency too. So if I'm consistently giving you something, right? You're consistently showing up for what I'm giving you, right? You should feel entitled for it when it comes in. And it's no different than anything of life. Like when we're looking at like TV shows, if our show misses a week, we off. We like, you know what I'm saying? Because we've been obedient to it, right? In a way. And so that opened up a bigger picture for me because it's like, as men, we I've heard a lot of women say shit like, men are entitled. They feel like, yeah, especially the high value motherfuckers. If you high value, if you alpha, if you whatever echelon you call yourself when you're supposed to be at the top, you have a level of entitlement about yourself because you're obedient. Now, this ties into the episode that I was saying a while back about what was it? Uh Men, we are taught to perform, we are taught to meet the expectations of a woman and be rewarded. And they wonder why we become entitled because we're obedient. Like, if I do everything that I'm supposed to do for you, you should give me what I ask for. You feel me? And we look at it from that perspective as, oh, nah, that's entitled. But we've been programmed to be entitled our whole lives. Like, I don't think we, understand the power of obedience. We've been taught to be entitled our whole lives because we've been told that if you do good, you receive good. You feel me? You do this, do what I tell you, and then whatever it is that is telling you or that is ordering you, if you follow that, it will reward you. But life doesn't teach real life. Like when I was growing up in school, they always talking about, oh, the real world this, but real world, it really don't work like they say the work. It's bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? But real life as a whole doesn't teach you, doesn't want you to be obedient. It wants you to be. And so one of these things that transpires with obedience, like I said, is entitlement. And when you have that entitlement, a lot of people say it develops narcissism. It develops a lot. We're gonna cover down a whole bunch of rabbit holes today. But it mainly led me to believe that if people really want good people, do they know how to delineate between morality and performance? You feel what I'm saying? And my alma mater, when I went to college, it was deeds, not words. You feel me? You don't say you do good, you just do good shit. Like it's that simple. But even deeper than that, you become obedient. And when you become obedient and you're not doing it just for the sake of morality, you're doing it for reward. When you're not getting that reward, you of course become disobedient or you start doing random shit. And so when it's like, why do men cheat? Well, I've been obedient and I didn't get what I was entitled to get. So I cheated. But before we dive heavy into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram _just_scene_. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of the podcast. Not the episode, but the podcast itself. Cash App and PayPal are just fine. And you know the vibes. That's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into so frail conversations, entitlement so frail conversations, entitlement and obedience. And don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now, this is going to extend into another episode. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. My downloads are expanding and they're no longer just single episodes. I don't know if y'all have been paying attention to this. They're no longer single episodes. They're series of episodes. And I don't want to say I want to transition the podcast into doing series as a whole, but the shit that I got to talk about is now flowing into other episodes and it's making a bigger connection to what I'm saying. So you're going to have to eventually start. If you miss one, you're going to have to go back to 2 or 3 because I don't know why they just connecting like this. And I'm only saying that because the one that's about to come out on Wednesday is going to be in the sense of continuation of this because there's more to say that's more for the public and it's more for everybody as opposed to just men today. But anyway, let's bring it back. Because it's so frail conversation. The ladies ain't supposed to be here any motherfucking way. I love y'all if you're listening though. But yeah, so when they're like, yo, 2 things that I noticed, and this is where a lot of this episode can, and I know it can, how do you get to hear from this motherfucker saying where your podcast at? Because it's like, as men, 2 questions that are commonly asked to us. You know, like I said, I got to entitlement, but 2 questions that are commonly asked. Why do men feel entitled and why do men cheat? And if we really dig to the core, like they're not separate questions. They're one and the same. You feel what I'm saying? And I always say, well, men cheat. When I say humans cheat as a whole when they feel like they're losing, but that's the purpose of cheating. When you are losing the game, you cheat because you know you have to win, right? But we never look at the obedience part. You feel me? And this is important because a lot of people, because we don't understand the difference, the delineation between obedience and discipline, it fucks us up. And a lot of people think because we're consistently obedient that we're also disciplined. It's not the same shit. This is why a motherfucker can do something. You be thinking, oh, you're consistent for the reward. The moment the reward stops, I stop being consistent because it's an input and output type thing. You see what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to discipline, I'm not looking for a reward. I'm looking for a result. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. I know what result I'm looking for. So there's nothing that can stop me until I have this result. However, when I'm obedient, I'm looking for a reward. So if I don't get that reward, I'm going to stop. Cycling back in. Steve Harvey convinced y'all goofy motherfuckers that if a woman puts you on a 90-day plan, Steve Harvey, that whole act like a lady, think like a man, the premise of it was about obedient men. It wasn't about good men. It wasn't about morally right men. And sometimes we got to look at the word for what it is and just the word, not the attributes that we associate with it. We associate obedient motherfuckers with good shit. It's like dogs. We send dogs to obedience school. And I'm not calling us dogs. I'm not calling humans dogs. But we send motherfuckers to obedience school and they learn how to respond to rewards. And what we call them, good boy, good job. And we do that to our kids. We do that to each other when we're growing up. We say good job, good this, good that, and we associate that level of good with obedience. You feel me? It's almost like when I talk about the word can. You feel me? On one hand, are you understanding can from the point of permission, or are you understanding it from the point of ability? So when somebody said you can't do something, they're saying you're not permitted to, not your ability. Even with obedient, when somebody says you're good, does that mean that you are morally a right person, or are you just obedient? For most of us, it's just obedient because we are obedient to the capacity that we will receive a reward. You feel what I'm saying? It's in the receiving of this reward that determines, okay, how we do good. And I noticed this, and I know they're not supposed to be listening, but I know they're here. It starts with women. And this is where the self-proclaimed good people come from, because we don't really understand words and use them correctly and associate the right word and shit. Because, oh, everything ain't got to be that smart. It does, yo. It does. Everything got to be exactly what you say. Because when you start using synonyms and smaller words, dumb it down, you have dumb results. Dumbass. Sorry. But anywho, when you in that pocket, right? And in that pocket, you're telling yourself, all right, I'm a good person because of this. Women will say, I'm a good woman because I'm obedient. This is why I be trying to tell motherfuckers, women ain't submissive, bro. Women ain't submissive because with submission comes obedience. You got to motherfucking listen. I seen this video where they literally at their wedding, my nigga, at their wedding, nigga, face to face at the wedding, reading about the pastor saying, do you promise to honor and obey him? And she said, what she say? Did she say no? She didn't say no. She just hesitated and everybody started laughing. That wasn't funny. That wasn't funny because the goal is the ring. I got to be obedient for this shit. And this is what women end up saying and doing. You feel what I'm saying? I've been a good woman. I've been obedient. I'm a good woman. I know how to treat a man. No, you know how to be obedient to the right man. You know how to shut the fuck up to the right man, to the man that you feel that you will be obedient for. But you're not obedient to just any given man. You know why? Because he ain't your fucking father. You know why? Because niggas ain't earned obedience. So that self-proclaimed good shit is an internal reflection of I'm obedient in context. When I'm in spaces I'm supposed to be in, when I'm in spaces where quote unquote I feel safe, when I'm gonna listen. That's why motherfuckers is hard-headed. They don't listen because they don't understand that the good person that they're that they're speaking about is their obedience, not their morality. You feel me? The goodness out of morality is different from the goodness out of obedience because the goodness out of obedience is conditional. Because if that reward stops, like, you feel me? A woman could tell a man, I'm not in the mood. But you're supposed to be obedient, nigga. You better bust it open. The fuck? No. But how can you not be in the mood? Well, I've been obedient. Now you're not rewarding me with what I'm being obedient for. We don't even know that that's what our women be telling us because they don't know how to tell us that. You feel what I'm saying? When she get cold, when she pull away from you and all this shit, and she stops being obedient, you be, what's wrong? What's wrong? I mean, I'm not being rewarded for my obedience. The fuck I'm gonna reward you for? Used to in our mind, what the fuck am I supposed to reward you for when that's what you're supposed to be doing anyway? I know, right? It get deep because it goes back to when we were children. You feel me? We solidified obedience as what makes us good people. Do as I say, follow my rules, get rewarded for this. And it's been like this since we were in school, all we developed. So now when it comes to us as men, we have to, we are that protect and provide shit is be obedient and I'll reward you. Now, be quote unquote obedient as a man. That's why the basic shit is just protect and provide. Care for me emotionally, this, that, and the third. But now when it comes to why men cheat, also why men are entitled. You feel me? If I'm being obedient and you not giving me my reward, I'm gonna go get the reward from somebody who I'm gonna go be obedient to somebody who's gonna give me the reward. We be thinking like, I'm about to tell all the cheating secrets today, but a lot of motherfuckers be thinking that when we cheat, it's because, oh, what did she have over me? And we always say the same shit. I was obedient, she rewarded me. But we don't say I was obedient and she rewarded me. She listened to me. She made me feel like a man. She respected me. This, that, and the third. I was obedient to her and she rewarded me. So I gave her some dick. The fuck? What you mean? Like, yo, it's savage and it's sad, but it's like, that's how it is. You feel me? And then when we get into these relationships, we get into them as characters anyway. I now have to perform to make you like me. Then I have to be obedient. And then time goes on and I realize you're not even worth being obedient to. You see what I'm saying? Now, as a man, our entitlement comes with this obedience because what it develops within us is that we elevate ourselves to a mentality of, yo, I'm a good man. Like every time we got to really reevaluate what it is to be a good man. Are you a good man morally? Or are you a good man through obedience? You feel me? Even deeper than that, are you a good man through discipline or are you a good man through obedience? Now, continually being obedient feels like discipline. You see what I'm saying? Now, I blame the church. I'm, you know how I'm gonna do. I'm gonna blame the church because that's where the foundational pieces, the church, the mosques, the temples, all of these things, they teach us to be obedient to deities to be blessed. Like that's the premise of the shit. You feel me? If you are obedient, you'll make it to heaven. You feel what I'm saying? You've been programmed for that as a kid in life. So now you go through life because as they tell you, you never know when you're entertaining an angel. You never know when God is there, right? So you're going to move through life always trying to be obedient, not morally right, not you're going to be obedient in the situation to be rewarded. And if you are rewarded properly, you will now start to internalize, I'm a good person. I'm building up equity for whatever afterlife I'm supposed to be. That translates to our normal life. Starting from kids, because a lot of us don't know how to separate fantasy from reality because we got fantasy at such an early part of our reality. So when it comes to us being in that obedient space, we know that from a jump, if I do what I'm told, I will be rewarded. You see what I'm saying? If I go to my classes in the morning and I listen to my teacher's going to throw us a party. We start to get programmed that if I'm obedient, I'm good. And we can't, everybody's like, well, how did this motherfucker have these bad thoughts and all this other shit? Because, motherfucker, I'm obedient to you and I could be detrimental to myself. I could be detrimental on the inside because I'm so busy trying to be obedient. And obedience is nothing but subservience for rewards. It's a subservience for rewards. I didn't articulate that right. But that translates to the more obedient, and this is the more obedient you are, the more entitled you feel, which is what comes in after that. Narcissism. Now, we're going to add this into this motherfucker because you always hear all these women keep saying, I had a narcissistic ex. How? Who the fuck diagnosed this man? And now, you got to understand what a diagnosis is. It's just a motherfucker who's a quote unquote professional, codifying some shit, but not really putting the words to it. A narcissistic person is a person who is at that level of entitlement, but why are they're at that level of entitlement without being obedient oftentimes. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I tell motherfuckers, you got the good narcissist and you got the bad narcissist. When people say, oh, my ex was a narcissist, you just happen to be the bad narcissist. You just happen to be with the bad narcissist in that pendulum swing because you were the good one. I'm the obedient one who I shouldn't. I hear women say it all the time when they tell me that their man was a narcissist or their ex was a narcissist. They be like, you feel me? I didn't deserve what he put me through. Okay, well, tell me why you didn't deserve what he put you through. Because I did everything right. You did everything right, and you didn't get the reward of doing everything right. You know why? Because the real world don't work like that. The real world doesn't work like that. When I got cheated on, I had to look back and reflect on that shit. Everybody was telling me, yo, you a good man, you this, that, and the third, and you this, that, and the third. I was obedient as fuck, nigga. I should have been rewarded with that. But at the same time, the real world doesn't work off of obedience. It gives you the result for the discipline you putting in. Now you have to also factor in the catalyst of what you're doing. Like if you obedient to a motherfucker that ain't like, if you obedient to a motherfucker that ain't morally good, it doesn't matter. Like when you get rewarded, it's not gonna be no good shit anyway. Because we don't know the difference in goodness. We don't know that good is has nothing to do with morality when it comes to obedience. This is why, motherfucker, this is how the conformity shit works. This is why groupthink works. This is why motherfuckers, because I'm going along with everybody else, I should be rewarded the same way. I did what everybody else did. I did what everybody else do. That's crazy as hell. Because growing up, you hear all the time, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? And then like they ask you that question and shit while they jumping off the bridge with their motherfucking friends. Oh, I love life, bro. This shit is a beautiful ride. My nigga. Oh, you learn a lot if you listen. But like when you look at that, right? We base our lives off of how obedient we are. Like we would hate on somebody and get jealous of them because they're rewarded for the very thing we're obedient for, not realizing that, oh, your rewards are not a function of obedience. It's like, yo, that motherfucker doing dirty shit, and how that motherfucker keep doing this, then the third. Cause nigga, they're not operating out of obedience and reward. They're operating out of discipline and result. They know what action they're trying to get. Now, this is where manipulation comes in because now when you're disciplined with when your obedience is why I said it's a fine line. It can seem like discipline because when you're obedient enough, long enough, and you know how to get this good result, that's where manipulation and deception starts to come in. As men, we learn how to be obedient for some pussy quick. Like we learn how to be obedient enough to get the phone number in 3 minutes. That's a skill, my nigga. I don't think people really understand that shit. You feel me? When I was young, it won't like, man, shit. I'm telling my glory days right now. When I was young, right, it won't shit to go to a party, get 4, 5 numbers at a time. At least 4, 5. And then like be able to at least knock out 3 out of the 5. You see what I'm saying? Like I got that. But I knew I was so obedient. It's real obedient when you already got the juice. Like, you feel me? It's real easy to be obedient when you got the juice and she like you. She's gonna reward you a lot faster. Like that's the thing. When I talk about the 3-day plans, when I talk about the shit, like, I exploited the level of obedience that I had to make women feel good, and I can get the pussy faster. Because now women look at pussy as the reward. She told her girls, I can get it. Like, yo, you don't know how many times you don't know how many times a woman has probably told her homegirls you can get it. And you be thinking you fucked her quick. Mm-mm. She fucked you, homie. She already knew she was gonna fuck you. Your obedience, she had already seen your obedience a long time ago. You feel what I'm saying? And she knew she was gonna reward you. Now, when you've been at this since you were 15, 16 years old, you gonna feel entitled. Every time I follow this strict set of rules and I'm obedient this way, I get some pussy. That's why I feel entitled to the shit. That's why I feel entitled to all women at a certain level. Now, when you have these alphas, now you have these high value men, and they get to that point, they were not, no matter what obedience they had, they didn't get any rewards. That's why they bitter and mad. That's why I did the episode on Pookies and Ray Rays. That's why they mad at the Pookies and Ray Rays, because they like, you niggas wasn't even obedient and you got rewarded. I know, nigga. That's the point. Because when you constantly used to obedience, you don't like obedience and that thrill of the dark side, the edge. It's there. It's captivating. You feel me? Women tell you all the time, stop following rules, be spontaneous, do this, that, and the third. And who she cheat on you with? A corny nigga that would happen to be spontaneous. You mad, but it's like, damn, I've been obedient and you just gave the shit away. You don't know how obedient the nigga you don't know how obedient the man was that she gave it away to. We love to talk about the work hubby, the work bae. You feel me? There's a chance, like, we get caught fucking our work partners. Women often don't. But at the same time, if we're fucking our work partners, that means our work partners are getting fucked. And if our work partners aren't single, you see what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have to look at it from that full perspective. We be looking like, why'd you fuck with somebody that was at your job, blah, 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 and this, that, the third. It's like, that nigga did. No, you'd be surprised how obedient that nigga was. He was more obedient than you, and he didn't live with her. He was more obedient than you, and he didn't see her every day. He was more obedient than you, and he made her smile. They didn't argue first thing in the morning. Now I got it. It ain't my fault we wake up arguing. She the one always bitching about stupid shit. Because your obedience is now tied to a standardized threshold that she keeps pushing up. This work nigga, his obedience level doesn't have to go up. Yours does. You feel me? When women be talking about, oh, I'm bored, I'm just feeling unfulfilled, that irreconcilable differences, now it ties it back into the standards and shit. I now have pushed the level to the level in which you have to be obedient to me. I have extended that, and I didn't tell you. You don't see it that I've extended it, but just know that I'm not rewarding you no more because you're not being obedient to me. You're not being obedient to me. Now, this work nigga, only thing he obedient to is the 20% she ain't getting at home. And that's what she missing. And so she's going to reward that because that's what I'm missing. That's what somebody's finally giving me that I know that I'm supposed to. I deserve this. I had a conversation with this woman one time. I had to let her know. I said, you don't know the difference between deserve and entitled. I said, you can feel. I said, you can be entitled. I said, you can feel entitled, but you can only be deserving. And if you don't deserve something, entitlement, it don't mean shit. So she was telling me, because we used to talk, like, you know what I'm saying? But she was like, why can't I get it right? You can. The problem is you keep being obedient for some shit and you're not being yourself. You keep trying to be obedient. And then at the same time, you give your reward too fast. Now, this is my thing. And this is really about to be a revelation for me. When I used to get mad at the women, it's like, yo, I fucked you too quick. What you mean you fucked me too quick? I don't just give my pussy to everybody. I don't know that, nigga. You gave it to me that fast, so I can only assume because I have to base a template on you rewarding my obedience. And I don't know that that's what I'm saying. It's such a young age and shit. I don't know that that's what I'm saying. When I'm saying you rewarded I fucked too fast. You rewarded me for obedience and I wasn't even in yet. Like in my mind, I'm not in yet. In her mind, you checked off everything. Like I had this woman one time. This is a whole different woman, but we were talking and we kicking in and shit. She came over to the spot and I wouldn't fuck her. And she's like, what you like? I mean, nah, I told you I was practicing celibacy. I don't know why. Man, bro, look, let me tell you something. Celibacy is a whole different level of obedience that gets you a whole different reward. Because they feel there's a power struggle there and women feel like they're going to take it. You want to hey, look, bro, practice celibacy and start fucking with sexually active women. They say men can't take rejection. Nigga. Reject a woman who has already been programmed that when a man is obedient to a certain level that she's supposed to reward him and the reward that she gives him is her pussy. Watch how they respond. So this particular woman, I ended up giving her some gems to, yo, baby girl, don't let that keep happening to you. I got enough integrity to say I'm not gonna fuck you right now. You feel me? I could exploit this shit right now. You see what I'm saying? This was like our first day meeting and shit. And it was just like, yo, nigga, nah, I'm celibate. I'm practicing celibacy. I can't do this. So we, eventually we start, we laying in the bed and shit, chilling and shit. And like, it was my fault. I shouldn't have started. We probably didn't start kissing this shit. But hey, I said no sex, my nigga. I ain't say the other shit. You feel me? I like being touched, nigga. I like being held. The fuck. But anyway, so it's like I'm like, no, stop. Like, like yo, keep like I'm not going that far. And this is what she says. I know I'm a good woman. I didn't say you won't. I didn't say you won't. But what does that mean? What is processing in your head? You feel me? Because now, when I looked at how she viewed me as a man, you see what I'm saying? When I looked at how she viewed me as a man, I was on paper everything that she wanted. And then I'm practicing celibacy. Oh, you just ain't out here fucking everybody. I know I'm not just out here fucking everybody. And the fact that you want to fuck me that fast, it showed me that you might be. I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just saying, like, I've been around that world. You see what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm a special motherfucker. So if I know that I'm not even being obedient right now, you still want to give me the pussy, I gotta wonder about you. I gotta wonder about you. Because it all ties into, that level of obedience. Now, off the other side of that, because of that, I used to, I used to have that entitlement, pre-celibacy and shit. Back in my pimping days, like it wasn't no like, and my entitlement was so high that it probably could have been narcissism, but my entitlement was so high that if you didn't like, my entitlement was so high that I didn't care if I didn't fuck. And it was like, yo, you gonna give me some pussy? No, I just stopped fucking with you. Cause I know that I know that I'm obedient enough to get some pussy whenever I want it. So if you tripping, put you on the back burner. I want to get to no. I'm obedient, and now you practicing restraint. That's all. That's what I was mentioning when I was talking about Steve Harvey and the think like a man shit. He told women, yo, men can't stop being what they are. So you have to put them on a 90-day rule. Nigga, a nigga will be obedient 90 days for some pussy. The fuck? People be forgetting that we had to lose our virginities. Most of us, if you were born in my era and shit, like a lot of us, even before my era, because they had porno magazines and shit, a lot of us were exposed to sex before we ever had it. You think waiting 90 days? We've already waited 90 days, more than that, before we actually first got some. So we'll be obedient for 90 days. That's nigga. Because obedience is easy. Obedience is easy, but obedience is also an act. And I'm showing you on a continual basis that, hey, I'm a good person. I'm going to be a good person. And it's like, after they get it, why do we change? Because I got it and it was trash. Ayo. That's like, I'm going to tell you what it's like. Look. Because the sisters listen, they're like, how dare you see? That's fucked up shit. I'm going to give you a metaphor so you understand how we perceive it as men. Because y'all shouldn't be listening anyway. That's what y'all motherfucking asses get. Imagine you studying hard. You feel me? Now, this is elementary school. So you feel me? You busting your ass. You getting all your times tables right. I know it's multiplication, but we used to call them times tables. You get all your times tables right. You feel me? And you get all of them perfect. And your teacher put a small star on your shit. No, you supposed to roll out the fucking red carpet. I don't want this fucking punk ass star. You might as well not push shit on this motherfucker, homie. You feel me? You might as well not even push shit on this motherfucker, homie. So now imagine, you tell me I get an A. Like, nigga, you tell me my obedience and what I've done, and you tell me I get an A, and then I get some pussy, and it's just a star. This don't validate an A. The fuck you mean? Now, the more A's you get, the less impact the stars have. When you are an A student, you feel what I'm saying? When you are an A student, the A's don't matter no more. But then when you start to get B's and C's, you get tight. You get mad. So imagine the A's already don't matter, and now you come in here with a C. I'm mad. Like I'm a little mad. You feel what I'm saying? I've already put in all of this work. You see what I'm saying? But now, the more A's that I've received, the more obedient. Now, switching it back to the women's side, the more sex that I've had, the more obedient, the more vagina. I'm gonna say vagina. Ain't gonna fuck with Orlando Brown. The more vagina that I received on account of my obedience and the level and quality that it is, and you come and you bring me some bullshit, you can't get mad at me. Now, I got it. You don't know how good the other pussy was that I had. You don't know how good the sex was that I had with other women. You never will. Because to keep it play, I'm not going to tell you that shit. And to ask that shit is stupid. But you'll never know, and they'll never know exactly what it is that we're dealing with. You feel me? I got it, man. Look, I got a track record, homie. So I've had only one woman. I ain't going to say stupid. I only had one woman naive enough to ask me that question. Am I the best you ever had? Don't you ever ask that question again. Because there's so many layers to this web. I know ideally because you my girlfriend, you would want me to say yes. But I can't answer that question. Oh my gosh, if I'm the best dick slinger you had, cool, by all means. But I know if you got bodies, I'm not asking that question. I'm just not asking that question because comparison is the thief of joy. And if you, motherfucker, decide to have this comparison with me, I'm going to steal all your motherfucking joy. Because I received so much based off the entitlement of the obedience that I put in. You feel me? So all of the obedience, I'm tying it back into the example that I was making for with the stars and the A's and shit. With all of the obedience that I put in, it's like I knew how to treat a woman. And they be thinking, men don't know how to treat women. No, motherfucker, he don't know how to treat your crazy ass. The problem is, it's not that men don't know how to treat women. We know how to treat women. Well, no, we don't know how to treat women. We know how to be obedient for some pussy. And they be thinking that that's treatment. Nah, nigga, that's not treatment. That's us being obedient. And then we learn that that's what treating women, like that's what being good is. And it has nothing to do with just the women and the sex and shit. It's just the humanity of it all. We've been taught and programmed to be obedient, not good. And we've been taught to be good, but good out of the form of obedience and subservience, as opposed to being good out of morality. That's why motherfuckers be like, why doesn't he get it until he has a daughter? Cause nigga, now I have to be morally good. My daughter doesn't just require, I don't have to be obedient to my daughter. The fuck? I have to be morally righteous to my daughter. And it's not until I have a daughter that I become morally righteous. Well, didn't you just marry? Yes, nigga, I married her out of obedience. The fuck? This is the part of the cycle. This is a part of the way things go. We court, we meet, we fuck, we slip up and get pregnant, take plan Bs. Like we go through some hard times. We get through being obedient with each other and testing each other's boundaries and all this shit. And you know what? I think I'm gonna marry you. You feel me? That's why it's like, they be like, yo, why do women stay for 10, 20 years? Cause she wants to be obedient enough for that fucking ring and it's worth it for her. For some of y'all, the ring ain't worth it because y'all want more than that wedding. She don't. She just want the wedding. She don't give a fuck about that shit. She will put up with whatever she got to put up with because she will be obedient enough to still leave this motherfucker and say, I was a good woman. No, you were an obedient ass fucking slave. Shut the fuck up. And I say that respectfully because that's all obedient people are. Slaves. Slaves who's like, I don't do this to get like, yes, nigga, you feel entitled because it's like, I'm a good person. Imagine, I don't want to relive this and, stir up the trauma and shit, but imagine, when our people were enslaved and shit. Imagine the motherfucker who still got beat after being obedient. Nigga, what the fuck you beat me for? Nigga, I didn't do shit. I did everything right. Yeah, it don't matter. You did everything right. I still don't fuck with you. Morally, I'm not a good person, so I'm not going to reward you for that. The fuck? You feel what I'm saying? I heard this powerful quote. We are trying to, maybe I said it too, because I don't remember who I heard it from, but I remember these words. I said, we morally try to appeal. No, it wasn't me. It definitely wasn't me. It's just in my head. I don't know who. We morally try to appeal to immoral people. Maybe it wasn't me on the caption. I don't know. I say so much. But anyway, fuck who said it. Damn it. The principle and the shit's that we morally try to appeal to immoral people. That's obedience. You notice we're never good to good people, bro. And this is what I mean by this delineation. We're never obedient to moral people. We are never good to good people. You see why the words are like so fucked up? Because it's like I said the same word twice, but I clearly meant two totally different things. But to hear it, motherfuckers will tell you, I'm good. No, you're good to ungood people. You're good to people that aren't good. And you're good to people, you're obedient to people who are immoral. Because we get a thrill out of that shit. I want to change the motherfucker. Or I could do this, that, and the third. No. You feel me? We try to be obedient and we go through changes in life and we do all this shit just to be obedient for a fucking reward. You motherfuckers that want bad bitches, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not a reward that you want. I don't know why y'all want that shit. But again, it says as a motherfucker who got them, as a motherfucker who could still get them, and a motherfucker who had them wrapped around his motherfucking finger, a bad bitch ain't what you think it is. You see what I'm saying? But if you've never had a bad bitch and then you hear on social media all day long, yeah, my bad bitches, we this, that, and the third night. No, nigga, I had bad bitches. I had the self-proclaimed bad bitches. I had the we-acclaimed I had the we-acclaimed bad bitches. I had them all, right? Because I knew how to be obedient to a bad bitch. And the rewards that they threw, easy. Fucking easy. And then when it was on some, oh, you don't apply pressure. Be obedient and I like you. Be obedient and I'll fuck with you. Now, what is the obedience? Well, I'm already traumatized from the men of my past. You feel me? They did this wrong. They did this wrong. They did this wrong. So the level of obedience you now have to have has to erase that shit. And y'all niggas be trying to do it. That headache ain't mine. That headache ain't mine. I've had women say, oh, yo, you just stop putting in pressure and shit like that with me. You stop texting me, you this, that, and the third. Because, baby girl, I'm not trying to be obedient. You don't get it. Like, you think that it's me being obedient, that I'm gonna follow these rules and I'm gonna do this to get you and shit like that. No, I had you a long time ago. You just didn't know it. I already knew in my head that I crossed off all T's and dotted all I's. The fuck? I knew that because I understand how the game is being played. Motherfuckers don't know the game. They don't even know they in the game. You feel me? It's all a game. And it's all about my obedience. I had that shit a long time ago because I don't feel entitled to it. I don't exploit it no more. You see what I'm saying? But in the obedience, it's like I already knew I was obedient. I've already checked off everything off your list. At this point, you're resisting. That's all. And now you have, oh my gosh, the pool is getting so. I know the pool is getting stronger because you have already been conditioned and programmed to give me some pussy because I've been obedient. I've already done everything. I've already checked off every possible way that I could be the best obedient person to you. But you never factored in the fact that I was aware that I was being obedient. And the reason why I'm stopping because I know that you're responding to my obedience and not my essence as a man. Why it takes so long for you to ask me for your number? Like I had a woman block me and cuss me out because she was like, "Why I ain't got your number yet?" Because I don't want you to have it. What you mean? We talk every day in DMs. What you mean? But this, that, and the third. I've dealt with men your age before because she was a little younger. I think at the time I was 29, she was 26. I dealt with men who were 32, and that's a problem, bro. If I got you by 6 years in life and I still got to be obedient to get you, I suck. I suck, my nigga. Like for real, like that's real shit, bro. If I'm at a space in my life where I can only be obedient for younger women, I failed. If you listening and your girl significantly younger than you or some shit like that, and you feel triggered, hey, I'm sorry. This is just how I feel. This is how I perceive life. If you are significantly older than the woman that you are being obedient for, now, granted, let me rephrase that. You may have had a connection with a woman who was younger than you in a sense, and y'all are actually on some. The discipline of life brought y'all together because of a result that you continually do. That's different. When I'm speaking in context of obedience, my nigga, if you gotta be obedient for a woman who's been on earth less years than you suck. You lost. This is so frail conversation. Sometimes we got to talk to each other like we got to talk to each other, bro. And I'm talking to you like a brother who fucking cares. You lost. You suck. You ain't shit. You can't even be obedient to the women your age. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like now I have to be, now the reward that I has to get has to come from a more inexperienced person. That changes the shit. You feel me? It makes things a lot more different and a lot more difficult to comprehend because I now have to be performative. But in being performative, I gotta be obedient, my nigga. And now I'm being obedient to a woman who's younger than me. So as Shorty's telling me, she's like, men told me that I'm more mature for my age. You're not. Not to me. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck what the other obedient niggas said to you or did to you. I'm not an obedient motherfucker. So I'm not gonna be obedient to get some. I already got the pussy that like. And I'm gonna say this with the most modesty, y'all. You feel me? But this is real talk. We can talk like this amongst men. Because again, they shouldn't be here right now. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Like, pussy is the easiest thing to get. So I don't even like. I already know when I got the pussy already. I already know when I can fuck. I already know the obedience. I already know all of that shit. My thing now is I don't like being obedient. Cause it's easy. Cause I know that if you giving me the pussy because I'm being obedient to you, I ain't gonna like you. Because that means you're rewarding me for performance, which means you're also performative and you can't spot the difference. You see what I'm saying? And I have to realize that you are a result of I have to realize that you are a result of my discipline and not a reward for my obedience. The woman who is the result of your discipline, my nigga, my nigga. The woman who is the result of your discipline is the woman you're going to love forever. I promise you. But it's not until you've been disciplined enough with yourself to receive results. Now, these results that you receive, you have to be disciplined enough to know how to generate positive results before you can even fuck with a woman on that level. But when you are in your life, your discipline constantly produces results that you want, that you desire. When that woman comes along, you know that she's a result of your discipline. That's, excuse me, that's who you fucking with heavy. That's who you gonna fuck with heavy. The reason why we cheat, the reason why we lead, and I always say it's because we're losing, because I'm being obedient. This woman is a reward for my obedience. If she's a reward for my obedience, then that means she's also going to be whatever the opposite of reward is. I'm drawing a blank on the word. She's going to be the opposite of reward for my disobedience, or she'll take my reward away. What does that sound like? I know. See, you're always going better. I know. Yeah, you got to see how deep rooted religion is within you. The Lord give it, and the Lord take it away. We were already programmed that life is about being obedient. You feel me? Our higher power didn't create us to be obedient for rewards. It created us to exert discipline to achieve results. That's where your blessings come in. Your blessings come in from your results. But when we're taught our blessings are results of our obedience, it translates and matriculates to every point of our life. Every point of our life. So now when you bring it back, like I said, when the women who come into my space and shit, like, I'm like, I know I can fuck. I know who I can fuck, when I can fuck them. You feel me? I just don't fuck them. Because I'm like, I'm learning now. I got to be very, very careful. Now I don't know, oh, I'm high value, I'm this, that, and the third. Fuck high value shit. Fuck high value. Fuck alpha. Fuck our Richie. Fuck the queen. This America, bitch. Nah, let's stop. I ain't gonna steal Raleigh shit because you feel me, they might flag me and shit. But you feel me? Fuck all of that obedient shit. That high value man shit, all of that shit is obedient. Oh, 6 figures, this, that, and the third. Every woman that is coming into my space, every woman that is in my space now is a result of my discipline. They're a result of my discipline. This is one thing that I always say, like, when I be telling women, when they say shit like, oh, all the men that I dealt with say I'm the one that got away, or they can come, I'm like, yo, baby, like all of y'all are the same in my pool. I don't want to try to downplay you or make you feel less of a woman or make you feel like you in competition. But all of the women in my space now are results of my decisions. I mean, the results of my decisions too, but they're largely the results from my discipline. That's power. That's a different level of power to have. You feel what I'm saying? They're the results of my discipline, which means that I can tell, are you a part of my good discipline or my bad discipline? You feel me? That's when you start transitioning shit. But when it's just about obedience, nigga, oh, you a part of my good behavior. I know how to get the good behavior hoes. You feel me? Because now it's like in you being the result of my discipline, do you acknowledge that I am a result of yours? You see what I'm saying? Hear me well, my brothers. We about to get down to this motherfucker, how to pick the right chick shit, all this, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you know the results of your discipline and you know the women that come into your space as a result of that, do those women know that you're a result of their discipline? You see what I'm saying? Now, here's how you're going to know when it's based off of obedience, because these motherfuckers going to call themselves the prize. Oh, I'm the prize. You got to court me. You got to earn me. You got this, that, and third. You have to be obedient to receive me. Which means if you have to be obedient to receive me, I can extend that threshold. What you won't do, another man will. It's so many cliches that they teach us early about being obedient. And we take the wrong shit into our relationships when we're building them. The woman who is a result of your discipline and you are equally the result of her discipline, she ain't gonna play with you. She's not gonna play with you. You feel me? I got my eye on the shorty, yo. And I'm learning that I got my eye on the shorty. I got my eye on a couple shorties, but I'm learning and having my eye on them. it allowed me to see the different dynamics a lot more better. And I can tell who's a result of my discipline. I can tell who's willing to reward me for my obedience. In addition to that, I can tell which form of my discipline these women are a result of. You see what I'm saying? And it sucks because when the women are already programmed into the obedient side and the prize and the reward and shit, they don't realize that you're attracted to that. You are actually the result of their discipline. Self-sabotage is a motherfucker at that point. Because when you know, when you have already been programmed and conditioned to the ideation of relationships being obedience and reward, when someone is the result of your discipline, you have to keep being disciplined like that. That means you have to keep doing the shit that you do. Women don't feel like they have to do any of that shit for men. No woman in this day and time, not no, but a lot of women in this age don't understand that the men the men, some of the men that get away from them, or some of the men that they like the most, are results of their discipline. And they be wondering, like, why don't you spend all of this time catering to me? Cause I'm not obedient, motherfucker. We are the results of each other's discipline. We just have to keep being disciplined with each other. We just have to be. That's the beauty of this shit. When you are when your relationship is established, my brothers, and you got her out of your discipline, she's the result of your discipline. You don't got to do shit, but keep being disciplined. You see what I'm saying? Keep being disciplined. And then it becomes easy to be disciplined because you're the result of her discipline. I say it all the time. I used to say, I made a couple posts about it. I know it was me that said it this time. I was like, to the woman who's manifesting me right motherfucking now, I said, thank you. Thank you. And I'm like, in that manifesting, reality, it's like what I've come into, I can only imagine what she is. Like, because if you're like, the thing about manifestation, it's not just, again, this is where lines get blurred. It's not just I be obedient and I get rewarded. That's not a manifestation, my nigga. A manifestation is a result of your discipline. When people be like, yo, I manifested that, you a lot of motherfuckers ain't manifesting shit. They are rewarded for being obedient for certain shit. That shit can be taken away from you. You feel me? When you are disciplined and you discipline towards results, even if that result is lost, you can produce the result again. Most motherfuckers who just get that manifestation from being obedient, they can't duplicate the process. So when I was saying to the woman who's manifesting me right now, and I used to say this shit all the time on social media. One of my big homies, she hit me up and said, yo, you gotta stop saying that because these women are actually trying to manifest you. And they're like, they can't. They don't have enough discipline to manifest the result of a man that I am. I know it. I'm not trying to shit on them. I'm not calling them inferior, none of that shit. But I know what I've become. You see what I'm saying? So I was making a point, like, to the woman who manifested this version of who the fuck I am, who put it in the universe, who intentionally said, I want this type of motherfucker. I'm gonna be disciplined enough for the result of this type of man. I love the man that I become because of the discipline that I put in for these results. So now, when that woman comes into my space, or when I cross paths with that woman and shit like that, it's like, damn, you's a cold motherfucker. I ain't gonna hold you. You's a cold motherfucker. Because I'm a cold motherfucker. Because now that we're in this space, we are the results of each other's discipline. Now, the question is, are we going to be aware enough to know that we are beyond obedience and reward? You feel what I'm saying? Because that's what makes the relationships falter. That's what makes the relationships stand firm. That's what makes the relationships grow and bloom and blossom. Because if I'm in a space where everything is about obedience and reward, at some point, I'm going to get to a point where I don't want to be obedient because your reward isn't worth it. But when I'm establishing this shit off of our discipline produce results. Now, when we come together, it's like, all right, cool, we own that space. But do we produce healthy results or like beneficial or detrimental results? This is what I was saying. I know it seems like I'm jumping all over the place, but all of this shit keeps chopping and flowing into the conversation. This is why I was saying that you have to get beyond good and evil and move into detriment and benefit. When you look at life as, oh, good and bad, you're gonna be an obedient motherfucker. And you're only going to be obedient for good shit because you don't know the difference between goodness and morality. And I'm not saying it to be as an insult, but most motherfuckers don't. Most motherfuckers would do some immoral shit because it's good. And I know people, well, if it's immoral, then it's not good. Nigga, if you told that this is for the common good or the good of the people, you're going to be obedient to do the shit, even if it violates and damages your motherfucking body and sterilizes you, make you not be able to have kids. It was good, though. It was immoral, but it was good. And you were obedient. Now, on the other side of that, when we look at the discipline side, when you're disciplined towards results, now you say, are the results that I'm producing beneficial or detrimental for my life? This is easy. This makes it so much easier to deal with somebody because it's like, is the discipline of your life beneficial or detrimental for you? You feel me? And you have to find that fine line because you have those people that, oh, I'm just obedient so I can get a good reward, as opposed to the people, because on a result and reward on paper is going to look the same. Like when you really think about it, it's like, yo, I did all of this and I got this. That's what the theme is. I did all of this and I got this. But were you just obedient with it, or were you disciplined with the shit and produced the result? You feel what I'm saying? A lot of times as men, that's where our lines get blurred. That's where our lines really get blurred, because the discipline and the work that we put in, ultimately, if we don't know this delineation, the work that we're going to put in with all of this discipline that we receive is results. And we're sabotaging a lot of our results for women who are rewarding. All you keep hearing is get into the markets, but do you trade or do you invest? Should you do stocks, Forex, crypto, or NFTs? My personal answer is not a single one if you don't know how to read a chart. Without knowing how to read a chart, you end up giving all your money to those who do. Do you know what a candle is? Do you know the pocket of activity? Do you know the difference between market direction and market control? If you answer no at least once, you might want to learn how to read a chart first. Learning how to read a chart will let you know if you should trade or invest, and if you should do stocks, Forex, crypto, and or NFTs. It will also let you know if this is even for you or not. So visit IamJustSeen.com to learn how to read charts with my Mastering the Market course, ebooks, and webinars today. The world is changing. The question is, will you adapt with it? Oh, she a bad bitch. She this, that, and the third. Like, here's a perfect example. You feel me? Perfect example. A woman who works out in the motherfucking gym is disciplined towards a result. The women who get the BBLs and then go buy gym clothes and take pictures, that is obedience for a reward. Eventually, that fucking body is going to go to hell. Technically, it's already there. Like, the fact that she had to get a BBL mentally, I just put it in a jam session that I'm about to start working on and crafting and practicing up so I can drop it. But I'm saying, if you grow it in the gym, that's cool. If you lose it in the gym, that's cool, even if it's taking any longer than you wanted to. The women who get the lipo and all this other shit. Now, I'm not saying if you got it. I mean, it's not saying that she got that shit and then, as a kickstart to help her on her journey and shit. That's different. The motherfuckers just got the shit just so they can move it to their ass. Ooh, you about to go through some hell. Now you have to realize, what life am I about to have with this woman? She seeks reward. She doesn't seek results. Now you have to ask yourself, and this is one of the most dangerous things that come in. I'm listening to these podcasts. I'm listening to these niggas talking. They like, yeah, because a man, he put in all of this work to get to this point, and you think he's really gonna? Yeah, this is why it gets to the point where once we become tens, nines, and tens and shit like that, well, that's why we can have all of them. You feel me? Because we no longer have to. Because what we're not doing is let me slow down. We're still not acknowledging that we're still wiring ourselves from the obedience and the reward response as opposed to the discipline and result. This is why I say polygamy is for the carnal and monogamy is for the divine. Because it's once you get to a certain point where your discipline reaches a result, you have to rid yourself of obedience and reward. You literally have to rid yourself. If you don't, because once you start producing a certain result, you want to take that result to go be rewarded for it. That's when it becomes easy to get these women. You feel what I'm saying? This is what I be saying. Like, I don't be trying to just talk shit like, yo, I got the game on lock and I used to have, no, there's a lot of lessons I had from being that type motherfucker. And I'm trying to give them to y'all so y'all can see life better so you can stop. Because we're too old to still be going through the same shit that we was going through 15 years old, 20 years old. Like, that age pocket is done. But we're still trying to carry on to what we missed out in that age pocket, not realizing that it's because of obedience. When you get to a certain point of result, you don't have to be obedient anymore. Trust me, my nigga. Hear me well. When your discipline has reached a point that's produced a specific result, you don't have to be obedient at all. You ever heard the phrase of you ain't if you really like that, you ain't gotta lie to her, she'll lie to herself. When my discipline has reached a certain point of result, I can go exploit the women who only focus on obedience and reward. Why you doing this to me? I can't believe you acting like that. You this, that, and the third. Shut the fuck up. You got to take it. Because my results eclipse the obedience of any of the men that you fuck with, and you know it. That's why you give me the reward so quick. That's why no matter what I do, you still fuck with me. Motherfuckers be wondering, like, how does she is the dick that good? It's deeper than the dick. It's deeper than the dick. The dick comes with results. And all she sought was reward, and all she needed was obedience. It don't matter what the fuck I do. Like you have women that'll say that. It doesn't matter what the fuck you do because home is taken care of. Now, this is when you get to a point where, like I said, you have to burn that delineation. I know I've been talking about him a lot lately, and I don't know if he's ever been caught. I don't know. I can't say, but I just know that this motherfucker kept his nose clean for a long time. He's been married to the same motherfucking woman, still got his kids. LeBron James. LeBron James' discipline was for a result. You feel what I'm saying? He wasn't obedient for a reward. This is why he's almost still in the league now. But I'm saying that in regards to his relationship with Savannah. Savannah is his result. Savannah is the result of his discipline. And I think maybe on a deeper level, because you can tell that he kind of got it like that. Like, you can tell on a deeper level that he understands that my result would give me any reward that I want. But my discipline, it only got me this one result. It got me the mother of my kids. Without my discipline, this woman wouldn't be here. And vice versa. A lot of people don't look at that. Savannah, on the other side, matches him. LeBron is also the result of her discipline. You feel what I'm saying? Not the obedience, not the reward for her obedience. You feel what I'm saying? He is also the result of her discipline. And they've been rocking since they were teenagers, 18, like they went to prom, like they've been together. They've had the same alignment. This is where we fuck up in relationships. This is where we fuck up in status. This is where we fuck up in this. And this is what I talked about when I talk about autonomy versus authority. When your autonomy is present, you're willing to be disciplined for the result. When your authority is present, you're going to be obedient for a reward. I told y'all I can't help it. All of these shits is connecting. It's just how the flow is happening. It's a big ass web now. It's not just one single episode. These are developing in the series that connect. Unless they've always been connected and I just wasn't paying attention to them because I was so tunnel vision. But either way, all of this derives from that obedience and that delineation between the obedience and discipline. But even more than that, it's like that's where that entitlement comes in. So now, tying it back, because I know it seems like I trying to drift it off and I forgot about entitlement, but I didn't. The entitlement side is when your discipline develops a result. No. Your obedience develops a thing that keeps giving you a certain reward, and now you feel entitled to it. Because it feels the same way it does when, like, I used to have dudes that would go to women that I was knocking off. I'm like, what you seeing him? Why you didn't? Like, it's niggas that do it. It's niggas that do it. Grown niggas that do it too. Like, well, you shouldn't be fucking with this nigga. He this, that, and the third. And they can't figure out why she fucking with me. Nigga, she fucking with results. She fucking with results, homie. It's different over here. But you so busy trying to be obedient for that reward, you don't see it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's the result that they fuck with within me. You see what I'm saying? The homies in my space right now, we are resort oriented. So the women that we fuck with, they be result oriented too. Now, when you in the whole world in a pool and you never made that delineation, because now I'm producing results. This is what I was meaning about the high value alpha type niggas and shit that I kind of got off of. They on here social media and shit. This is why they got to know the body count. This is why I got to know all of this shit, because it's like I've been obedient. I've been obedient enough to get the reward of the bad woman. You see what I'm saying? So it's like now I'm at the space where I make the money, I got the body, I got this, then the third, and Shorty getting knocked off by a fat nigga that don't read good because he got results. See, you just obedient, nigga. Like, and in your obedience, what it is that you're developing yourself into is a type motherfucker who now I now become that entitled motherfucker who's the narcissist. Now it's like after 30, now I can settle down. Now I could be this man. This is why they tell you like some men don't become established until they're in their 30s, till they're in their 40s, because now I'm finally at a point where my obedience can be rewarded by women. That's why I was like, she didn't like the good guy growing up. She did. She loved him. She loved the good guy. You just niggas, you were good by obedience, not by morality. Because in a strange plot twist, the motherfuckers the Pookies and the Ray Rays, we all had good hearts. We were different with women. I'm gonna put money on it. The motherfuckers who got the chicks pregnant and was able to walk away and shit on the internal, when it was on the one-on-one, the reason why she was comfortable having that motherfucker baby because of what he did for her on the inside. Now the external shit, I gotta be the rough nigga, I gotta be this and the third. Like, yeah, because I gotta produce a certain result. I got to produce a result that makes you feel that you'll be protected, makes you feel that you'll be provided for. You feel what I'm saying? But internally, it makes it so much easier. I don't have to be obedient to that because my result already achieved a certain thing. Now, because we're young, we don't develop the right mentalities and shit. So because we're young, we kind of fuck up. But at the core, a lot of those motherfuckers had good hearts. Morally, they were good people. Obedience wise, bad as fuck. But morally, they were good people. I haven't met a hood nigga that didn't have a good heart. Ever. Ever. I have never met a hood nigga who was out running the streets, like beating niggas up, punching, like you feel me? Morally, these was bad people. But when you got to know them, obedience wise, they were bad people, but they weren't morally bad. They had principles that they stood on. They had values that they stood on. It's like, yo, you doing this for a reason. You doing this for a fucking reason. Like you like this because of this, but on the inside, you really that. You really a nice motherfucker, bro. You really care. You feel what I mean? When me and my homies and shit, when we were terrors. We was Ray in them for real. Like I ain't gonna say we was terrors. I ain't even gonna act like we was demolishing the hood and no shit like that. No, like, but you feel me? We was bad. Like we would colloquially, we would be what they would call bad kids and shit. We just weren't obedient. But inside, we was good as fuck. We stuck together. When some shit popped off, you got to deal with all of us and shit. When one of us ain't had money, then it didn't matter because we all gonna go eat. We ain't play with each other. Like, morally, we were good motherfuckers, bro. I can stand on it. I can honestly and truly say that. Like, fuck the obedient shit. Most times we weren't always obedient. But morally, we were good motherfuckers, yo. And we had just happened to stand on hood morals. That's all. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what translates, because these motherfuckers telling you, I'm not bad, I'm obedient. You see, I'm the good guy, but morally you fucked up. Morally you fucked up. Because now when you get her, you're not really going to think logically. You're not going to think of how you can make her life better. You're not going to think about how you can make her feel good. You're not going to listen to her problems. You're not even going to know how to solve them. But you're just going to be external. You're going to externalize it to make it look like y'all have a good relationship. That's why these relationships ultimately end up being, you guys is decorated on the outside, but it's fucked up on the inside. Because morally, these motherfuckers ain't good. They just obedient as fuck. You feel what I'm saying? Now, as a man, when it's time for you to transition to that, your relationship, I promise you, as long as you operate from the realm of, I'm gonna be obedient for the good, I'm gonna be good for this woman. Are you good by obedience or by morality, my nigga? The universe is gonna give you what you're good for. You feel me? Sometimes we hear the phrase, you good for nothing and shit, and we be thinking that it's based off our morality. It's based off your obedience. You're obedient for nothing. You're obedient for nothing because you don't get nothing out of it. This is the phrase, nice guys finish last, because these niggas is obedient. Nice is semantically, but etymologically, nice means stupid. Of course, stupid guys gonna finish last, nigga. The fuck? You ain't smart. The fuck? But nice guys finish last. But even deeper than that, the nice guys are the obedience ones. Yes, you're gonna finish last because now you have a slew of motherfuckers that are more obedient than you. You feel me? And then not even that. You trying to use your obedience to compete with motherfuckers who produce results, nigga. You ain't even in the same pocket. So tying it back in, I skipped off on this too, but it circles back in. Rabbit holes are deep. To the woman that I was, some of the women that I was involving myself with in my past were saying, yeah, all of the men, they end up coming back to me. They end up saying, I can never find another woman like that. I had to keep it honest. Like, they be thinking I'm arrogant. They be thinking I'm rude and disrespectful when I say this shit, but I mean it. But now I can put words to it next time I say it to a motherfucker. You feel me? Where they like, I'm like, yo, all of the women in my space are like you. Like, I don't worry about any of y'all, and that's where the I can replace you shit comes from. But I don't mean it in a derogatory way. I mean it in a way of y'all are all the same to me because y'all are all the results of my decisions. Not only my decisions, but y'all the result of my discipline. I don't feel entitled to any woman. Let me get this clear. I don't feel entitled to any woman. But every woman that I meet, I know I deserve her. Not only deserve her, I know that I've earned her. That's a whole different level of confidence that you have. Like, people be thinking that I'm just, I'm the ladies' man because I got it like that. I'm a smooth talker. My discipline has produced a certain result in my life consistently. And the women that come into my space due to that result, I've earned them. I've earned them. I didn't have to play a role. I didn't have to be obedient to get rewarded for something. Like, nah, I don't, because then I don't, like, now I'm getting to a point where I have to start doing sinister snake shit just to have these hoes. Nah, because I don't even fuck with hoes. Because hoes are not the hoes are not the result of my discipline, bro. Can I get them? Yeah. Easy. But at the same time, they're not the result of my discipline. And I think if we get into that space as men, where like that entitlement drops. That entitlement is only for the motherfuckers who are excessively obedient. I know this gonna make y'all really sit back and reflect. Like, damn, homie. Damn, I ain't never. I know a lot of us never think about shit like that because we don't have a reason to think about shit like that. When we think about the top of the totem pole, it ain't really a totem pole. Like, they're the most obedient motherfuckers, so they got the pussy the most. Like, and most of these motherfuckers were morally wrong because they had to lie to get it. They won't be honest. They won't be in them true selves. And it's like, damn, bro. That's why when women be like, yo, you're different around your boys and this, that, and the third. Like, what's that song Monica got? Well, I love you so much when she say, who is it Monica? It's a woman R&B singer from the 90s. They got a song where she's saying, you don't change when you're around your friends, basically. I don't know the lyric. That's why I don't know who sings it, because I want to say it's Monica, though, but it's like, you don't change when you're around your friends. You still the same motherfucker when you around your friends that you are around me, because my friends and you are all the results of my discipline. I don't have to behave for any rewards in this world anymore. You feel what I'm saying? So the people that are in your space right now, they're the results of your discipline, homie. And respectfully, that's what it's always been. Everybody that's consistently in your space, that's in your space right now, they're results of your discipline. Now, if you spend time being obedient and shit, you'll fuck up the people we always wonder, how did you fuck up on the good people in your life to spend time? Because I've already been programmed to practice obedience. Duh. I've already been programmed to practice obedience for rewards, and these people reward me. Now, if I'm not producing results in life, right? If my discipline isn't producing results in life, I'm not really gonna be able to see accurately the people who are in my life because of my results. I'm only gonna focus on the people who are in my life because of my obedience. Oh, we gonna go turn up. We gonna go party. We always lit. We this, that, and the third. No, you're a part of my life because of my obedience, not because of the results of my discipline. Which means that I'm entitled to this friendship, because it's like nobody should do me wrong because this and the third. That's why you have so many people that are snakes on the inside, and they're not really snakes on the inside. They were already morally corrupt people, and they just practice obedience to befriend people so they can have results. So they can have rewards. We've been learning this shit since we was kids. Go to school and make friends. I don't like these niggas. I gotta be as obedient as everybody else is, so that way The person, the people who are more likely to be able to be disciplined towards their results, they were the ones called weird. They were the ones called nerds and all this shit. And they got revenge. They got angry because they wanted that acceptance, but they didn't know what they were fighting for. So what it ended up translating to is now I don't have to be obedient because of my results, and I can have whatever reward I want. So I'm only gonna step into the realm of worlds where people have to be obedient because now they got to be obedient to me because nobody allowed my obedience to be accepted. Nobody allowed my obedience to be accepted. So now you have to be obedient to me. I'm the catch. I'm this, that, and the third. You feel me? Honestly, hey, look, I could be a ho right now. I could, I should, I would, but I can't, I won't because it's not in me anymore. I never knew why it wasn't in me anymore. And it's not in me anymore because I have to practice restraint or have to resist. Like when I practice celibacy, like I'm going on 8 years in September. I'm going on 8 years in September. Motherfuckers like, damn, how you cause the women in my space are the results of my decision. My discipline, right? They're the results of my discipline. So I'm not tempted. I'm not in the space of women who are going to reward me for acting right with some pussy because that's when seduction comes in. That's when that seducing shit gets in. It's not there for me. It's not there for me. You see what I'm saying? I know when I've obeyed well enough to get some pussy. You feel me? But I also know when a woman has not been disciplined enough for the result that she says she wants. Like I'm watching it in real time play out, and it was hard to observe because it's like she keeps saying this is what she want, but this ain't what she doing. One of the last women that I was just involving myself with, well, I ain't gonna say last women because we was like kind of, I ain't gonna say off and on. It was like we started, and then it started like in 2016, 17, and then it was, yo, we can put a pin in it and come back later. We came back a few years later, still, you know what I'm saying. Then we just recently came back a couple months ago, maybe last year. Sometime it leaves me. But then her coming back, it's like, yo, you still in the same space. It hit me. It's dawning on me now as I'm delivering this episode and what it was. It was like, damn. That's why I had you in the pocket. You feel me? That's why you had me in the pocket. But at the same time, the separation was in the fact that I was operating from the space of being disciplined for results, and she wasn't. And because of that, she was more obedient for rewards. I was like, and I learned that because it was like, this is the one who I say I get frustrated with. I no longer get frustrated now, but I used to get frustrated because like if she's sitting on $1 billion idea, I still won't act on the idea because it was hers, and I still won't expose what it is because it was hers. It's already in the universe. Motherfuckers already doing it, but I'm not gonna share her shit because it's like, that's yours. But she wasn't disciplined enough to do the result. She was only obedient enough to get the reward, and that reward wasn't what she wanted. That reward wasn't immediate enough for her. And I'm like, it's cool. I fucks with you. That's how you gotta rock. That's how you gotta rock. I can't be mad at it. But I'm not mad at it anymore because of that. And now it changed and now this like my perspective on relationships has changed now because I understand the obedience side. And I understand when I'm looking in like this, wow, this is one of the reasons why I always say I have an issue with women who are religious. Because they'll end up submitting it, which is ultimately I'll end up giving my reward for the obedient man. What is your reward? Because it's like at some point, my obedience, you're gonna raise your level to the threshold and shit where I'm not meeting that anymore. But now, when you know that I'm the result of your discipline, to keep me, you gotta be disciplined. And that's something you're gonna do anyway. You feel what I'm saying? I've learned like when women, you don't have time for me, you don't talk to me, you just that and the third. Like that woman, like I said, when she was sitting on $1 billion idea, that was the woman who when we were talking and shit, I was only getting 4 hours of sleep for a year straight. This is like a year straight. I was only getting 4 hours of sleep. I was working doubles. I was Ubering. I was starting my businesses and shit. And at this point, I was moving up in ranks at my job. Like at the same time, simultaneously, and I still made time for her. But at the same time, I'm still missing something. It's not me that you're missing. It's not what I can't give you that you're missing. It's your own discipline that you're lacking. You're not producing results with your discipline. You're just being rewarded for your obedience. And that becomes fleeting because at the end of the day, you get tired of being obedient and playing a role and getting rewarded for it and shit. I'm showing you that you are the result. You are a result of my discipline. That's why you're here. You just can't see that you're the result of my discipline. And for a lot of us as men, that's one of the biggest things that fucks us up on the inside when it comes to relationships and dealing with women. All of the women we chase and think they're the prize. They sister circles tell them so, Instagram telling them so, but nobody's really acknowledging the true reality. And even us, when we on these episodes and shit, again, this is a conversation you're not gonna hear nowhere else but here. You feel what I'm saying? But on these other episodes, it's like I'm the high value man, I'm this, that, and the third. Everybody's focused on obedience and reward. Nobody's acknowledging discipline and result. The women that fuck with me the heaviest, the women that are in the space right now, they are all the results of my discipline. So when I'm like, I don't want to, so now for me, it's not about having options. Like when you in that space of obedience and reward, that's where the options come in. Over here, it's on decisions. You got to be able to make a decision because now, when you are the result of my discipline, are my decisions with you going to be beneficial or detrimental to my life? Are your decisions with me going to be beneficial and detrimental to your life? Now, are our lives beneficial and detrimental for each other? You see what I'm saying? You're going to get what you are out of a motherfucker. And a lot of people be thinking, I want a motherfucker who just like me. Oh, no. Break it down to your core and see where your discipline is and what results you produce with your discipline. And you'll find exactly who you're supposed to be with. It ain't hard. It ain't hard. You a gym rat? The fuck you think you gonna find? That's why it blows my mind when they say opposite attract. No, they don't. That's only in chemistry, not in humans, nigga. And even if we do want to stick with that, opposites attract, and they neutralize each other. You feel what I'm saying? And what happens when we in these relationships? The relationships that broke us to a core. It was somebody we were being obedient for. We be thinking, oh, it's time for me to settle down. I'm gonna be the one woman man and shit. I'm gonna hang up my player ways and all of this shit. No, nigga, all you gonna do is be willing to be obedient for the reward of whatever that woman's gonna give you. You're not accepting the fact that I have to be disciplined and these women have to be my results. This is why you hear me say when I give the metaphor, I don't chase women no more, bro. I don't chase women. I'm not the cheetah hunter no more. You feel me? I'm the spider. I set the web up. My discipline has created results. If you can land in my web, I can fuck with you. It's that easy for me. You see what I'm saying? But now, when you land in my web, I got to decipher. Are you willing to be obedient or whatever? Like this woman man, it was crazy as hell. Something in my heart told me, like, something in my spirit was just like, hey, bro, like, don't even try. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, you feel me? She came into the space and shit. And again, I could be misinterpreting everything, but come on, I ain't no fool. So she comes into the space, or whatever the case may be, and I guess she tried to shoot her shot or whatever. We talking and shit, we vibing and shit, hey friend, this, that, and there. I know what that means. I get added to her circle, her close friend circle on Instagram. Y'all don't know what the green circle mean, nigga. You don't get in that for no reason. The fuck? I'm in enough green circles to know. Damn. I'm in enough green circles to know you don't get in the green circles for nothing. You see what I'm saying? But I play it cool. So it's around, I say October. Had to be around October because it's just before Halloween. So I'm added to the circle and shit or whatever the case may be. No, matter of fact, right around Halloween. Matter of fact, I think it was Halloween night when I got added. And Halloween night just always get on my fucking nerves. But around this time, you feel me? She added me to her close friends. And then there she shows me her Halloween costume. It was a police officer uniform and shit, I get to see not her ass, but you feel me? She's dressed up and shit and she's showing it poke out and shit. And I'm in the close friends or whatever the case may be. Now, mind you, so I double tapping and shit. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm a flirt. I do shit. So I comment Mrs. Officer. She then goes back and takes that post from the stories. Now it's just in the stories at this point, right? And it's just in the close friends. She did it to get my attention, of course. Now, she confirms the attention she was trying to get by adding it to her regular stories. She not the picture that she used to catch my attention with, her ass poking out, but just the other one in her and with the costume. And then she puts the song Mrs. Officer. No. I said, wee, wee, wee. That's what I typed in the motherfucking message and shit. So in that, this is where it led to. So when she posted just the picture in the stories of that, she had the officer outfit on, and then posted, and then put that part of the song in there. You know what I'm saying? And then like a cop call. So I was like, all right, I get it. Like, now mind you, this motherfucker's talking to me and shit, telling me, oh, problems, you listen so well, this, that, and the third, and shit. Like, all right, I see where this is going. Because I know where it's been before. But I'm playing it smart because something in me is like, nah, I can't get close to you. I can't even try to actually like you because it was a person that was telling me, you need to tell me the details of the stories and what is this, that, and the third. I've been down that route before where a motherfucker, don't be vague with me. Be detailed with me while I'm vague with you. And I was, oh, okay. Be obedient enough for me to reward you with opening up. I'm an open book because I love my story. So I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? So Shorty's like, yeah, tell me about this. Give me one. So then as I'm being detailed in my description, she gave me little one-word answers and shit. I said, I've been here before. So, you know what I'm saying? Come to find out, this motherfucker randomly hits me up one day. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a couple weeks ago or some shit. She randomly hit me on the DM and say, yo, my boyfriend cheated on me. Wow. Now, mind you, before that, I'm in the green stories. I'm in the stories now. Now, she posts a story, and this is after she's literally she's getting advice from me about, entrepreneurship, all of the shit. Like, she's actually, oh my gosh, you listen so well and shit. So I'm thinking, but I'm knowing some things you just got to enter knowing about. So then in that story, she posted a picture of a dude, her holding a dude's hand. And I was like, So all of these problems and shit you was dealing with at work and shit, why you ain't telling that nigga? Why you telling me? I'm not upset because I understand this reality now. You feel me? And this is not an event. This is the show, the reality. So all of a sudden, I don't know if she was trying to be funny or whatever the case may be, or she was trying to show like, oh, you wasn't applying pressure. Nigga, you had a man. The fuck am I apply pressure for, nigga? I knew something was off. When we be talking and then all of a sudden you got to stop or blah, blah, blah. It's like, I knew something was off, my nigga. I knew it. I knew in our only conversation. I knew it, bro. I knew it. So you feel me? Like after that picture and shit, she posting there with her holding a dude hand or whatever the case may be. It's like, I say maybe a month later or a little less than a month, she just randomly texts me. I wake up one morning and shit, and, DMs, checking my shit. And then I randomly see my boyfriend just cheated on me. Wow. Keep your head up, homie. Like, and now the conversation has finally shifted and stopped to where it's like, oh yeah. I already knew. Like, I'm not going above and beyond to act like, I'm not a side dude, bro. I'm not a side dude. I have no side dude capabilities. Like, I don't have that capacity in me at all. Like, I'm the type of motherfucker that I am is if you try to make me a side dude, you're gonna end up single. Because you're gonna realize how incompetent your main dude is. It's like, what? Yes, it's like that. Because again, when you building on your relationships that are based off obedience and reward, you don't see the reality. So this motherfucker really tells me, like, she's like, and this is crazy because she's like, she tried to make a slide joke about she's considering, dating white men because, it's a soft life. And I said, lady, you mad that your man cheated while you was trying to cheat. I'm like, you don't see her wrong. You really don't see what you like wasn't like. And it's like, yo, and she's like, like the moments and the memories bother me. It hurts and this, that, and the third. Lady, do you not know? Like, you were cheating too. And had I not had that sense and knowing about, you probably would have cheated on him. And I would have never known. You see what I'm saying? Like on some shit like that. That's like, how are you trying to play the victim here? You just got first. That's why it's a problem to you. But I'm like, it's one thing if you were just telling the motherfucker you was thirst trapping, that your man cheated. Nigga, you was doing it first. I don't like I don't know how y'all view cheating and shit, but they give it like when you feel like you losing, you cheat. So wherever you going to get what you wasn't getting, that's it there. It's like the shit that she was trying to dump off on me, the emotional conversation, the way that I just listened, being a safe space, all of this shit. She was calling me and shit. It's like you have all of that in front of you and you didn't utilize it and you're mad that it went somewhere else because he got caught with it. It's like, damn, damn, damn. That's wild. That's wild. But at the same time, it ties into the whole generation, the whole thing of this. Like, why do men cheat? Why do men feel entitled to have it? Because I know that I can be obedient enough to get whatever reward I want. I'm entitled because I've been obedient and I got any reward that I want. You feel what I'm saying? But not many people are willing to take that extra step to understand, yo, let me shift into discipline and result. When I it's you have a different era about yourself and aura about yourself when you are trying to when you know how to produce results for yourself. Because it's like if you don't align with the results that I produce, I don't fuck with you. Now, when you align with the rewards I receive for being obedient, I'm gonna fuck with you heavy. And then it's like I'm gonna find a way to make you give me the reward. You feel what I'm saying? Relationships ain't hard to understand. They just manipulate it and they twist it. Because everything in this commercialized society, in this consumer-based society, everything is about consumption. So it's like, how do you keep feeding me to reward you? Like with children and shit. So in that, I kind of knew from the jump that her discipline wasn't, she didn't have the discipline. Now, this isn't just her. This is the last couple of involvements that I had that I was sitting back and I'm reminiscing on and I'm reflecting on because I'm like, the difference in those is that there was a common thing. I met the obedience to get the rewards. Now, this is something that I always do. Like, it'd be like, yo, if we fuck or we about to fuck or we do some intimate shit on our first or second link, like, and we meet. Now, mind you, I'm still practicing celibacy, so I don't cross that line. But if I have the potential to do so in that moment, I've already I realize what the reality is. And if all that we able to do is stupid shit, is like I've already reached the obedience level. I reached the obedience level, and now you're willing to reward me for it. Now, for me, this is what I had to come to terms with that. It's like back to the options point. Some women will brag, "Oh, you got options." I got options too. You got options as much as you want, but every woman in my space is a decision. She's not an option. And I decide where I have to put her. Can I fuck with her intimately? Can I not? So that's been my reality all my life. Like I've had women say, I've dealt with a woman we was fucking at first, and then I went celibate on her. And then she's like, how you just gonna do that? Like, what if you get tempted by other women and shit? I'm not. And I didn't realize what I was like. If you don't align with the results of my life, it's easy. I didn't know it then, but that's what makes it so easy, like to see back then. See now, you feel me? For her, it was about obedience and reward. It was, oh damn, if I'm not doing this, you're gonna go get it from somewhere else. Cause that's what I would do. That's what she did. You feel what I'm saying? But it was like, why didn't you? Cause man, this isn't the result that I want. I don't give a fuck about a reward. If it's not the result that I want, I'm not willing enough to to put the discipline in for it. And as men, I think that's what we need to evolve and transition into. And not only that, be able to recognize it out of the other side, because a lot of us, especially if y'all are rocking with me right now, y'all are in the same space as me. Where y'all have been disciplined for results, but you still can't figure out like this is the missing piece of why it's not working, homie. Because in the results, you're still following, I ain't gonna say following, but you're still adhering to the structure of the past of with my results, I have to go be obedient for reward. And now you realize that this shit ain't worth it. When I be joking and shit and I be saying, oh, the dating pool, like this is what I mean. When I say the dating pool got piss in it, this is what I mean. I don't care how old she is. I don't care like none of that shit. These are the spaces, as long as she's in a space where she's going to reward you for being obedient, nigga, you're not gonna be happy. Excuse me. You're not gonna be happy at all. The whole happy wife, happy life situation, shit, like that's you feel me? There's nothing to note it for, man. It's all for the woman. Happy wife, happy life. You be obedient. You be obedient to a woman, you be rewarded with a happy life. And that's fucking bullshit, my nigga. I have yet to see a man who actually had a happy wife have a happy life. That's one of the most overused pieces of shit ever. You feel me? But it's based off of the fact that we are still operating from the space of obedience, not from the space of discipline and results. You feel what I'm saying? If we can just make that small tweak and then learn how to pay attention to the women who are in our space through our results, that's where we're supposed to be at. We so busy getting caught up in the gram and looking at bad bitches that go under the knife, that look like every fucking body else because they contour their nose, that we're not looking at the women who are in our space because of the results of our decisions and the results of our discipline. We're missing the cream of the motherfucking crop because of that. We are missing the creme de la creme of the top because we're not even looking at it. Because we have to learn to value our results first. We have to learn to honor our own discipline and be attuned to it, to know what it is that our discipline has led to this particular result. There's no entitlement over here. It's earned. Like, this is what it means when, oh, respect is given, it's earned. Your respect is earned based off the discipline that leads to your results. Not the rewards. Like, just because you go in, you get promoted at a job, you do this and the third, those things seem good, but you have to realize what it is. Was it like half the time you get promoted at a job, half the time you go in a range, you didn't have to do shit. You just had to be there for a longer time. You see what I'm saying? You just had to be there for a longer time. And a lot of times we get caught, and again, that's based off your obedience. Be there a longer time, not get fired, and do what you were told the best. And then you can get promoted. It's a different world when you're operating from the perspective of I have to honor my results. Now, because now with my discipline, it's like these results are detrimental for my life. These results are beneficial. When you start to align yourself with your decision-making skills and your discipline leads to results that are more beneficial than they are detrimental, watch which women come into your space. Sometimes your type, there's a difference between types and attractions. Sometimes you could have had a type so long that it causes you to overlook the results. It causes you to overlook what was there because of the results of your decisions. And it makes you chase what's there because of the obedience you can now have with these results. You see what I'm saying? But when you start producing certain results and you say, okay, this is beneficial, this is detrimental. This is beneficial, this is detrimental. Start weighing those things out, start balancing those things out. And look at the women that are more tied to the detriment, to the beneficial shit of your decisions. Look at the types of women who are around because of the detrimental shit of your motherfucking life. That entitlement goes out of the window. You feel what I'm saying? That entitlement goes out of the window. And then you start to say, oh, bro, okay. Now you start to, then you leave out of that space of having to be obedient. You feel me? Stop being obedient and watch how many women you actually have. That woman that, she talks to you all the time. And when you tell her about what it is that you like, one of the biggest drawbacks that I really like, when I started talking about like my music again, the women that like a lot of women got iffy, they got shifty. And I'm like, I talk about it a lot. And when they get shifty, I'm realizing, you're slowly showing me that you're not going to be a part of the results of my decisions. You're not a part of the results of this level of discipline in my life. Because I know what vision I have with this. But there's some women right now who is like, they're in awe and they're shocked and they're inspired by what it is that I'm doing. Those are the women who are in the space where I have to look at them and say, okay, y'all are it. Now, this isn't necessarily to say that off rip, because I still got my vanity. Still got my vanity. You know what I'm saying? There's still other things that have to tie into that. You see what I'm saying? But again, there's things that it's going to become an anomaly. As men, we have to get to a point where we have to start looking at life like that. We're not kids anymore, bro. We're not these little young boys from high school and middle and even college and shit that can do stupid shit, who can thrive and get off of the obedience and shit. Some of us have kids. Some of us actually have kids based out of the obedience that we followed. And now it's like we all of a sudden ain't shit, because now you have to, your obedience now has to change, because you have to accommodate her and the child that she is rewarding you with. You see what I'm saying? When a woman is rewarding you with the child, it seems it's a little bit different, because now it's like she's like, I shouldn't have to tell you this. I shouldn't have to tell you that. I shouldn't have to tell you this. And it starts to seem like she's nagging, and then you can't deal with the mama. You ain't gonna be able to deal with the baby for the sake of the mama, because you can't be obedient to the mother anymore. You can't be obedient to the mother anymore, because now your discipline has to produce a result that keeps your child safe. Fuck the mother at this point, but I still need my time. I still need this. Those are people who are built off of who are built off of rewarding for obedience. Watch that shit. I promise you, you'll never get nagged. You'll never get frustrated with. You'll never have to say certain shit or do certain shit when you're aligning yourself with the women who are the results of your discipline. There's no entitlement there. You've earned every single woman in that space. You've earned them. But it's on you to determine whether or not she's aware of whether or not she's fucking with you out of obedience, or the fact that you are also the results of her decisions. I know it can seem fucked up, because sometimes the decisions that they've already done, the decisions that we've already done, can affect us in the future, even if we start having a new discipline and creating new results. Feel me? I have to come to terms with the fact that I might be a stepfather. It ain't no ifs, ands, or maybes about that shit. Ideally, I would still want what I want, but at the end of the day, I have to look at it from the perspective of, because of a lot of women have transitioned out of the obedience side once they had children, and they had to make sure that discipline produced results. I'm not saying that's like the case, and it's like, but I had to come to terms with the fact that a lot of the women that are in the space of being disciplined and producing results, they were often tied. Said they often have kids, and they were raising those kids alone. They're not with the original father, because they had the kids with the father based off of the obedience and all of that other shit. Oh, we're here, we're this, that, and the third. And it's like, oh, you changed that. The niggas didn't change. They stopped being obedient. That's really what it is. But if we can get beyond that, or we can see beyond that, and we can elevate to that point, I can I can assure you things are gonna change. Like things will be better. You feel me? But you have to realize that all of the shit that you do, the cheating and all of the shit, is because you have to look internally, and you're losing. And you're not losing because you're dealing with this woman. You're losing really because you aren't disciplined enough to produce results. Or the results that you produce and are detrimental for you. Shift into a space of starting to not only be disciplined enough to produce results, but produce beneficial results. But pay attention to the results that are beneficial and the results that are detrimental. And then feed that discipline. Put discipline behind that. Discipline is continually doing the same shit. It's not some magical shit you got to beat yourself up and punish yourself for. Pay attention to the shit that you continually do that gets a positive result in your life. Anything aligned to that is where you live. Anything misaligned with that is where you die. Simple. Find a way to thrive in where you live and start putting yourself into the now. That discipline doesn't even feel like discipline when you're actually doing what makes you live, because it's producing positive results, and you know it is. You see what I mean? Pay attention to the women in those spaces. Now, granted, if your vanity kicks in and shit, you got to start like me. Sometimes it's like, I can't fuck with you because you ain't all that cute, but you got everything else. But because of that, I have to leverage the fact that I know what you feel like. So I know how to acknowledge what you feel like, or you got, I can't fuck with you because, you got this situation, blah, blah, blah. But I acknowledge what you feel like. But I respect the fact that you are disciplined enough to produce results. And I happen to be one of the results that you produced, whether you're willing to acknowledge that or not. And the results that I produce in life, they have aligned us together. Now, are we going to allow ourselves to remain disciplined as we are, to continue on the beneficial result producing reality that we have? Or are we going to get together and then fuck around and shift back into this obedient, subservient shit to where now we're producing each other and we're juggling and we're jumping through hoops for rewards, and now we sabotage and fuck each other up? You feel what I'm saying? That's where the problem is. Learning how to divide that and keep that separate, so that way we're not honoring, so that way learn how to keep that separate, so that way we are honoring the results that are produced from discipline, which gives us what we actually have earned and deserve, as opposed to battling for obedience and fighting for what we feel entitled to. And don't forget to check out Cafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Cafe Clothing. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Yeah, man, that's entitlement and obedience. I had no idea that was going to come out this way, but yeah, we're going into another part of that. I got more to say about that regarding, like, how we, dive deeper into these motherfuckers. But yeah, my brother's like, this is a new pocket. This is a new space. This is a new place that we have to get through and be in. I don't think we understand the depths of why these relationships don't work, because we're following a model that is never built to elevate us as people, to develop the point of operating from being disciplined enough to produce the results that we want in life. We're obedient enough to be rewarded by those who we're obedient to. And it feels the same. It seems the same on paper. You feel me? I go to work every day and I get paid. Okay, cool. Are you disciplined enough to produce a beneficial result for yourself financially? Well, I go to work every day and I get paid. If you lost that job, will you be able to, if that job was gone right now, could you continue to produce the beneficial result financially? Okay, now you have to realize something. I'm not saying give up your job or nothing. I'm just saying, I'm showing you that I'm using these extremes to show you the depths of what this fine line is that is so thick and it's so grand in magnitude that we look at in life. The way in which we perceive consistently being obedient as being disciplined. This is why you get burnt out. You don't get burned out when honestly and truly, when you're truly being disciplined towards your results, you don't get burned out. Sometimes you have to be told to calm the fuck down. But when you're being disciplined for rewards, and the thing about it, when you're being disciplined towards a result, even if you don't see the result yet, you know that result is going to come, so you'll keep doing it. But if you're being obedient just for the reward and you don't get that reward, you'll stop. That's why we cheat. But then on the other side of that, this is why we feel entitled, when we constantly be obedient and we get the reward. But then now when we know how to produce a specific result, that's when we know that we've earned something. You see what I'm saying? We got to get to the space that we know that every woman that comes into our space, we've earned her. You weren't obedient. You weren't rewarded with her. You've earned her. There's a difference. I don't fuck up nothing that I've earned. I will forget about a reward that I got if the shit starts getting dusty. When I've earned this reward, when I've earned this result, let me say that. When I've earned this result, it's different. I look at her different. I speak to her different. I care for her different. I'm able to protect and provide her for real, whether it was in the So Frail conversations or it was in the actual book. I think it was in So Frail 3, where I mentioned that you're not going to protect and provide for anything you don't value. And you only value the results of the discipline that you put into something. If I'm being rewarded just for behaving, that's the easiest thing to do. I got to act like I like you and you gave me some pussy. What the fuck I'm going to protect and provide for you for? Because you know why? The next man could do the exact same thing. Go have that motherfucker do the shit for you. This is what a lot of men are complaining about when they're like, yo, why should I have to care for the the kid, like, he fucked up. Like, why should I be punished for the shit? You feel what I'm saying? Now I gotta go, I gotta come in and it's like, now I gotta perform. And like, no, 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 cut it out. But in order to cut it out, you gotta know exactly what it is. We gotta learn how to separate this reality of being obedient enough for rewards, bro. Just to get some pussy. You feel me? That's the easiest shit in the world to get. And I get it. A lot of women, you can't get this over here, nigga. No, pussy is the easiest thing in the world to get. You just told it it's the hardest thing in the world to get. So because it's the hardest thing in the world to get, you are obedient enough to get it, thinking that it's hard. It's not. It's not. It's not. When you're obedient enough, it's thrown at you. But now, when your results trigger obedience, when your results of life can trigger the illusion that obedience will be made, will be had, you get pussy like a motherfucker. My DMs stay lit. I know I could fuck a good 75% of the women in my DMs. A good 75%. And that's charging it low. 75% is charging low. And the reason why is because of the results. The discipline of my results makes them feel like that I'll be obedient to them. They'll fuck with me, bro. And this ain't just women younger than me. This is older, all of that shit. Like, I've already eclipsed so much shit with the results that I put in. I've had women tell me they want their sons to be like me and shit like that. They wish their men were better. Like, yeah, I know. A good 75% of them. This ain't me tooting my horn. But I know this based off of me. And I know this based off my experience of life. You feel what I'm saying? I know when I know how I don't have to be obedient anymore. This is one of the reasons why I get to be around shit. Like, motherfuckers be like, yo, how he get to say that? I've had motherfuckers listening to the podcast or whatever the case be like, and then commenting on a post saying, yo, bro, if I were to say that, they'll condemn me because you're not me, bro. I'm not trying to be obedient. They know that. I'm not trying to get a reward. They know that. You feel me? I'm providing results based off my discipline, and they know that too. That's why I'm him. And that's how you can be him too. You just got to learn how to put that transition down and go from the perspective of stop being obedient. I'm not saying, don't follow rules and be anarchic, but no, align with the results of your discipline, homie. That's it. Align with the beneficial results of your discipline. If they're not in alignment with the beneficial results of your discipline, then that's detrimental to you. And it's going to take away from you and deplete you and drain you. And if you always jumping through hoops and shit, trying to perform and shit, I'm showing that I'm a good man. Hey, look, I'm not trying to prove to no motherfucking woman that I'm a good man. I'm not trying to prove that I'm a good person. I don't try to do none of that shit because I ain't no fucking dog and I ain't fucking jumping through circles and proving no shit. But I'm going to show you how my discipline aligns with how my discipline produces a result that I'm comfortable with morally and I'm able to be beneficial with to the world. If you're not willing to do that shit, if you're willing to just be obedient and shit for reward and shit, I can't fuck with you, bro. Respectfully, I'm not trying to get into heaven. Like, I'm not scared of the afterlife. I'm not scared of whatever may happen because I know the results that I produced. I know what the discipline that has led to the results that I produce. If there is a heaven and hell, if there is all that shit, I'm not going to the bad side. And it's not about me having to behave to be rewarded for heaven. Nah, bro, the results that I produce only give me benefit. So if you reap what you sow according to the 12 laws of the universe, I'm good, bro. I'm good. And so with that, you have to realize, are you going to be transferring that into a woman? Are the results of your decisions right now? Are the women in the women that are in your, for one, are you comfortable? I'm going to say this and I'm really going to wrap it up because are the women that are in your space right now, my brothers, do you like them? Are you comfortable with them? Because they're the results of your decisions. Even deeper than that, are you comfortable with the results produced from the decisions that you keep making? The discipline that you have, are your results comparable to that? Are you comfortable with those results for the decisions that you make and the discipline that you have? If you are, the women in your space, according to your results, are who you're supposed to be with. Spend time with those women, bro, and get to know those women. Get to know what they like. You feel me? I'm not about to downplay, like, if I want to watch some motherfucking Dragon Ball Z, I'm gonna go watch some Dragon Ball Z. I'm not about to be around a woman who's gonna say, oh, he childish. No, she's gonna put her feet up and watch it with me. If I want to study human design and tarot and all of that shit, I'm gonna deal with a woman who's comfortable with that shit because she aligns with my results. I'm not gonna be involved with a woman who's hiding that she wants to learn this shit and afraid that, people go, I don't give a fuck about how my family look at me about that shit. I don't. You feel me? I don't, because I understand what results I'm producing in life. And now that's when you got to start realizing people, you're going to lose people, you're going to gain people. Focus on who you gaining, being yourself. Focus on who you gaining when your discipline produces results that are aligned with your benefit. And follow those people and look at those women and look at the energy that they're putting out. You see what I'm saying? That's how you have a healthy relationship. That's how you have a fruitful relationship. That's how you find the woman you're supposed to be with, bro. Where you don't have to behave, where you don't have to try to get a reward, because eventually that reward is going to stop if you have to be obedient for her. But if she's aligned with the results of your discipline and you are a result of her discipline, y'all will be a match made in quote unquote heaven, especially if the results are beneficial to you, the results are beneficial to the self, to the other, and to the world. Y'all will be together forever. Cheating makes no sense because you're not losing. You feel what I'm saying? You can't lose when you're living the life that you're supposed to be living. And when somebody's living their life the way they're supposed to be living and your two lives harmonize with each other for benefit, you don't have to worry about cheating because you're not looking at the relationship from the perspective of I'm performing and not getting rewarded. You feel me? If I align myself with a woman who's like, yo, I'm not in the mood tonight, chances are I don't want to fuck right now either. The fuck? And she gonna respect that shit. You feel me? Because that's where we at. But if I'm in a space where I want to fuck and now she don't, and now we got a problem and shit, is because, yo, I've been performing, I've been obedient all this time, and you say I can't get it when I want it. No, nigga, because it ain't yours. The fuck? It ain't yours. And that's the reality of it. And if we address that, we'll be better. But look, I'm gonna go into there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And our sons, if we start to teach our sons to value discipline as opposed to the results that they get, you feel what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about raising little narcissistic men, little entitled men who feel like they're supposed to get it. No, teach them the value of their results. Like, you did this, and this is what happened. See, the problem is we beat our kids so much because we fucked up as people, because they didn't obey us. You feel me? So we didn't reward them. We gave them a punishment. But we don't teach them that you did this and this is the result. Now, when you continually produce these results, this is the life that you have. As opposed to, do you see what you feel like when this result happened? Do you see what came of your life when you gave this result? Now, produce more results like that. When you produce more results like that, align with people who make you feel like you should be producing results like that. And then they learn to understand the definition, the reality of being beneficial as opposed to detrimental. They stopped behaving a long time ago. You don't have to worry about beating your kids. You don't have to worry about your kids making you look bad or being obedient for you. No, because you know they're going to be disciplined for the results of themselves to be good. And if you are in a space where you're disciplined enough to produce beneficial results, they're going to follow off suit. You see what I'm saying? Now, granted, they're going to always know they're kids. They're going to as a human, you even going to do detrimental shit from time to time. But if the overall pinnacle of your reality is to make sure that the results that you produce are beneficial to you, to your circle, and to your world, you can't go wrong. The motherfuckers that is detrimental to, they ain't in your world. Fuck them. They ain't supposed to be there any motherfucking way. It's niggas that like that. They want you to behave for them and you to be obedient for them so they can feel like they can. I don't give a fuck about you rewarding me. Get the fuck out my face. and make sure your kids can have that same energy, especially our boys. And we'll stop raising these entitled, narcissistic boys who practice every single day being obedient to receive a reward. That becomes deceptive, and we become masters of it. We become masters of it. We become masters of the shit. So now we in our 30s and we've been doing it for so long, all we know how to do is be deceptive. You feel me? But we don't know how to be result oriented. So make sure you start your babies early and raise them up right. Train a child in the way that they should go. But for real, though, I'm going to go ahead and there. Go kiss your babies and make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.